Today, searching the internet feels effortless. You type a phrase, you receive an answer, often within seconds. It feels inevitable, as if the web was always organized, searchable, and indexed with precision. It wasn't. Before Google, the internet was chaotic, vast, expanding, and difficult to navigate. Information existed, but finding it required patience, memory, and sometimes luck. The early web did not begin with search engines. It began with directories. In the early 1990s, the internet was small enough to catalog manually. Websites were listed in categorized directories curated by humans. One of the most influential was Yahoo, which started as a simple index of useful web pages organized by topic. It worked, for a time. But the web grew exponentially. Human curation could not scale with millions of pages. The first true search engines attempted something new: automated indexing. One of the earliest was Archie, developed in 1990. Archie didn't search web pages, it searched file names on public FTP servers. Primitive by today's standards, but revolutionary at the time, it proved that automation could organize digital content. Soon came AltaVista, launched in 1995. AltaVista was fast, powerful, capable of indexing millions of web pages. For many early internet users, AltaVista felt like the future. It introduced features that seem obvious today: natural language queries, advanced search operators, translation tools. For a brief period, AltaVista dominated. And there was Lycos, one of the most visited websites in the mid-1990s. Lycos combined search with news, email, and community features, an early attempt to become a portal rather than just a tool. And Ask Jeeves attempted something ambitious: conversational search. Instead of typing keywords, users could ask full questions. It was an early vision of what search might become decades later. Each of these platforms tried to solve the same problem: relevance. The web was expanding faster than indexing technology could refine it. Results were often cluttered, repetitive, or manipulated. Keyword stuffing became common. Websites learned to game early algorithms by repeating terms excessively. Search results were not necessarily useful. They were simply matched. The breakthrough that changed everything did not come from better categorization alone. It came from ranking. In 1998, two Stanford students introduced a search engine that evaluated not just content, but connections between content. The idea was simple, but transformative. If many websites linked to a page, that page might be important. Relevance was no longer about keywords alone. It was about structure, the architecture of the web itself. That engine was Google. What distinguished Google was not merely speed or scale. It was an algorithm, PageRank, that treated links as signals of authority. Instead of asking, "Does this page contain the words?" it asked, "Is this page referenced by others?" This shifted search from matching to evaluation. And that subtle shift redefined the internet. But the story of search before Google matters because it reveals something important about technological evolution. Innovation is rarely born fully formed. AltaVista demonstrated scale. Lycos explored integration. Ask Jeeves experimented with natural language. Yahoo proved the value of organized discovery. Google synthesized and refined. The early search engines failed not because they lacked intelligence, but because they were operating in a rapidly changing ecosystem. The web was transforming from a collection of static pages into a dynamic, commercialized environment. Advertising models shifted incentives. Portals tried to trap users inside walled gardens. Search became one feature among many rather than a core focus. Google, at least in its early years, focused narrowly on search quality. That focus proved decisive. Today, it is difficult to imagine the web without centralized search dominance. Entire industries depend on discoverability. Businesses optimize content for algorithms. Information flows are shaped by ranking systems invisible to most users. But before this consolidation, the web was fragmented. Multiple engines competed. Users compared results. Loyalty was fluid. The pre-Google era reminds us that dominance is not destiny. It is the result of timing, design decisions, and alignment with user needs. Search engines shaped the structure of the internet long before social media did. They determined what could be found, what could be ignored, what rose to prominence. In many ways, they were the first invisible governors of the digital world. Understanding the search engines that came before Google is not nostalgia. It is context. It reveals how fragile technological leadership can be, and how foundational design choices ripple outward for decades. The modern internet feels stable, but its architecture was built on experiments, missteps, and transitional systems that few remember. Before Google, search was still an open question, and the engines that shaped the early web laid the groundwork for everything that followed. If you enjoy calm, documentary-style explorations of the systems that built the digital world, subscribe to Talking Tech for more deep dives into technology's foundations.